Hello, huddlers. I'm excited to introduce you to Sahil Patel, the CEO of Spiralyze. Sahil and his team have a knack for turning clicks into conversions and have helped countless businesses transform their online presence through predictive landing page optimization. Now, several CMOs in our community, CMO huddles, have described Spiralyze as their secret weapon to deliver measurable impact in their first few months at a new company. And I want to talk about that for just 1 second. I'm going to put a pin in it, as some people say, because you're in your first 90 days, you're drinking from the fire hose, you've got to figure out brand, you've got to figure out all sorts of the politics and where the business is going and what customers think. The thing you don't need to worry about or shouldn't have to worry about is, are your landing pages optimized? Because you can hand that over to another person who can take another company who can take care of that. You already have traffic, and all we're doing is making sure that that traffic is optimized. It's brilliant. It's a perfect thing for the first 90 days. Okay, as a way to demonstrate Sahil's company's expertise, as in Spiralyze, we asked him if CMO huddles could be a test case, or should I say a test dummy. And he's going to, and definitely on the dummy side, he's going to walk us through the thinking behind their recommendations. So I'm excited to hear his thoughts, the company's thoughts, and I have no doubt it will be instructive for y'all as well. With that, hello, Sahil. Where are you?
Hello,
And
Drew.
how are you?
I'm
So
doing great, and I'm in Atlanta.
awesome. Okay, we got that straight. Good, hot Atlanta. All right. One of the things we like to do these days, just in case our audience has to leave early or we need to persuade them to stick around, can you offer 3 things many marketers get wrong when approaching landing page optimization?
Yeah, here's 3 big things I think everyone can take home, put to use on their website. Number one, when they do optimization, they don't take big swings. You should definitely swing big. Don't do meek changes, or if you're even A/B testing, don't do meek testing. That's number one. Number two, they don't show their product. Huge mistake. If you're any kind of B2B, you got to show your product. Number three, they try to do too much, especially on their homepage. They want to find prospects, get them interested, get them to buy, tell the story to investors, explain the origin story. You end up with a mishmash of vague, bland pages, all in the name of brand. And in fact, they're hurting the brand and they're not converting people, that they're spending a lot of money to get to those pages.
I love it. And I want to go through all 3 of those. I love the big swing, as a former agency owner with a name like Renegade Marketing, we thought a lot about big swings. And you brought me back to like one of the worst periods in my career. I spent 12 weeks at Wonderman working on American Express direct marketing. And all we did was worry about, if we raised the font a little bit or change the color of the indicia, would the response rate go up 0.0001%? And that was
Did it?
considered a success.
Did it?
Sometimes.
That's amazing.
Sometimes, I mean, it was that kind of a finely tuned thing. And it's also the period where I learned that sometimes dirty direct mail works better than clean. And sometimes you can fancy things up too much and they go, oh, that's fancy, throw it out. So anyway, you called it no meek testing. So what does it mean to take a big swing versus a little swing?
Yeah. So big swing means you take a dramatic change on the page. You're thinking about the composition, the headline, the call to action, the imagery, whatever it is. Look, you got to stay on brand. You can't go something kind of way off that's confusing to the user. But what you don't want to do is meek testing, MEEK. It's a giant waste of time. This is the thing where someone says, you know what? I'm going to change the button color. I'm going to move a few words around the page, and then I'm going to hope I get a little bit of lift from it. It's a giant waste of time, especially in B2B where you have limited amounts of traffic, which means you have a limited number of tests that you can run at any given time. To win big, you got to swing big.
All right. Big, and I love it. Yeah, we're going to change the color of the button. Stop. No, that's not
Just
going to work. And
don't do it.
particularly, again, I'm thinking about you CMOs in your first 90 days. You're going to take a little swing on a landing page? Come on. We're going to move the, what do we talk about? It was like the peas from one corner to another
Yeah,
on the
it's
plate.
it's moving the vegetables around the plate.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like that's going to make a lot of difference. And that's what we're trying to do in a short period of time and find it. And again, you're testing. So you don't always need approval for that. As long as, the brand police buy in that this is consistent, you can test a lot. Okay. Number two, show product. So that's really interesting. And obviously for CMO Huddles, that was a little bit tricky. And in a few minutes, we'll show how you did that. But not everybody has like a thing that you can like that actually looks on a screen. What do you do?
Well, let's first talk about, I'm referencing B2B here. I
Right.
think the D2C world is something entirely different. And by the way, some of these concepts absolutely work in D2C. Some of them we've borrowed from D2C, put them in B2B. But context today, B2B, and particularly B2B SaaS. I think in B2B SaaS, huge market. I look at all these websites and it's just like pictures of good-looking people,
Pretty people.
nice people. I don't know why these people are having so much fun in a conference room looking at a computer screen. Like, what are they doing on their job? I love my job, but I don't look like I'm having much fun at my job. Let me tell you, the data shows overwhelmingly when you show a bold, beautiful picture of your product. It beats showing happy people. Because by the
Oh,
way, that's why your customer came there. They want to see the product. And that's what you want them to do. In B2B, you want them to either buy the product, ask for a demo, start a free trial. Those are the three big things. To show the product, show the product, show the product.
oh my God. I have to tell a story at this moment. I have
Okay.
to. Oh my God. This was one of the most amazing. I'm at Chiat Day. Our client is Sarah Lee, one of the most prominent creative people we're in Chicago. We're presenting three different television ads to the client. And they present the first ad, and the client looks at the ad and says, I'd like to have a picture of the cheesecake in there. And you're not going to believe this. The creative director took the storyboard, turned it over, and said, "You can't have that ad." Week later, the business went up for a review. That was unbelievable. Yeah, showing the product, showing the product.
Show the product. Yeah. So in D2C, you would show the cheesecake. If you're a B2B software company, you show the product, show a screenshot. Doesn't have to be the most beautiful picture. By the
Right.
way, I think it's very tempting to overthink this. Okay, which screenshot are we going to show? Oh, our product's looking a little dated. I'm worried. Oh, our competitors are going to steal it. First of all, take the tinfoil hat off, put it aside for a moment. Um, your job is not to convince your audience to buy the product today. It's not even to convince them that your product is better than your competitors. It's just to hook their attention. Don't do that. Nothing else matters. So just show the product. Pick one. I know you've got 17 products. You got a platform. You have multiple suites. Just pick one.
Pick
Ask your
one.
salespeople, what's the wow moment when you do a demo? They'll tell you. They don't have to think about it. They know.
Wow. Demo. Okay. And if you're a services company,
Service company, show the people that are going to deliver the service. Now,
okay.
we actually have a client that's a service company. They're a franchised home cleaning service. And in the control, it showed a happy family, showed a mom with her two kids, joy on her face because she hadn't just spent presumably the afternoon cleaning the house. We tested it against showing a picture of the service team that comes to clean the house. They were in uniforms, they looked professional. There was a picture of their truck behind them that was clearly labeled, had the logo on it. That's the product.
Okay. So we can
It
show the
performed
product.
just as well. It performed
And
just as well as software companies that show picture of the
right.
software.
And we're not showing 17, we're showing one. Make it easy. Pick the wow moment. Love that. Okay. The last thing is trying to sell too much. Talk a little bit about this exercise and how you help your customers narrow it down and really think about the one thing versus the everything.
Yeah, I think a great way to think about this is the billboard test. Take your homepage, imagine it's on a billboard, you're driving by at 80 miles an hour.
Love it. Yes.
What would
And
you put on it?
typically, yeah.
Would you put the origin story? Would you explain in 8 font all the things your product does? Would you have 14 words in the headline? No, by the time they read the third word, they've whizzed by and they're not even thinking about you. Just your job is not to explain your product. Your job is not to get people to buy. Your job is not even to explain why you're better than your competitors. It is to hook your audience's attention. Keep it simple.
And
If you can explain why you're different or distinct, even better, but just keep it simple.
so, all right. So we are keeping it simple. We're finding a hook. It's a billboard, 6 words, maybe set at the most. Talk a little bit about how much time we actually have from an attention span and what are we trying to get him to do besides just say stop and spend
Stop.
a minute with us?
And by the way, that's the first job. Just get them to stop. Presumably your audience, first, they're probably looking at your competitors. Maybe at the same time, they got three browser windows open. Maybe just before they came to your page, they looked at a couple of your competitors. That's number one. Number two, they're distracted. That's just the state of how people browse. Number three, so what that means is there's an extreme reward for skimmability. Your
All
audience
right.
is going to make up their mind in the first 1 to 3 seconds if they're even going to stay. And if you're vague, if you're bland, if you're boring, they're not going to stay.
So, all right, we're not going to do meat testing. We're going to have other product in a wow moment, and we're going to reward for skimmability. We're going to make it easy for them to sort of discover the initial, greet them and say hello, and get them involved in the conversation.
That's
Okay.
exactly right. And hereby, let's convert that into something super actionable for the audience. Here's my recommendation. Take your headline, make a bold claim that delivers a benefit to your customer, and make it quantitative.
Benefit to the customers that is quantitative. Okay.
Yeah. And a real benefit, like a bold benefit.
Right. Something that is significant, important, touches the heart and soul, surprise, emotion, relevance. Those three things come together in 6 words. Just a reminder, that stuff is hard. It is hard to
Yes.
do that well. And it is why agencies still have some hope of existing. And good luck trying to get that out of ChatGPT.
Good way to put it.
So let's pause here now. And so this is what's going to happen here is there's going to be a weird little jump in the video and the audio. And the reason is that we pre-recorded this next portion of the show where Sahil is going to walk through with a live demonstration of the new and improved CMO Huddles landing page. So stay tuned for that. We're going to go right to that right now. Okay. Let's do it. Let's expose ourselves.
Deep breath. We're going to do it.
Yes, let's dissect what's wrong and how we can test our way to a better CMOHuddles.com.
And I would tell everyone who's with us today, Drew can take it. Hit him with your best shot. I'll be constructive. I'll hit him with the best shot, but Drew, I think almost all of us are our own worst critic. So I'm going to actually give you the floor first. Let me get the screen share up. Okay. Before we talk about how we can make it better, let's just talk about, here's your homepage. If you go to cmohuddles.com, this is what all of us see. Why don't you take, I'd love to hear 1 minute. What do you think it's doing well? What do you think it's not doing well?
Oh, well, let's see. It is, let's see, what is it doing well? It gives us a quick explainer of what it is and what the benefits are of confidence, colleagues, and coverage. We've got some social proof down there with our testimonials. We've have a little bit of fun with the language of swimming alone in choppy waters. I don't think we have the hook that you're describing, the one big idea. So it feels like it's missing that. And there isn't a pricing page per se because you have to qualify anyway. but there are the buttons. If you're a B2B, active B2B CMO, you know where to go. Right there. Buttons right at the top. Yay, click that. Okay.
Okay, let's critique it. What do you think it's failing to do or just
Well,
not
based
doing as
on
well as it
what
could?
you just described, there's no core simple thing there. There's benefit. The social proof is below the fold. So we've got work to do there. I'm not sure that those little icons are working for us necessarily. They take up a lot of space, and there's a lot. There's just a lot to unpack. But I would rather let you provide the critique now because I'm just guessing at what's wrong.
Well, I think you're on the right track. So I think one is your headline is good because it tells people they're in the right place. You got the logo. If I was coming here and I'm not sure that I'm on CMO Huddles, I'm definitely in the right place. And you've got these two things here that tell me who the audience is. It's definitely CMOs. This is a marketing audience. So I think that's really good. There's no bold claim. Like there's no hook here.
Right.
I'm also still not quite sure what it is. Like, of course, I know you, Drew. Everyone here knows what CMO Huddles is, but like it's at a quick glance. I'm not. Is this like a peer group? Is this a Slack community? Is this something else? Is it a service? Is it a product? Is this like Vista or YPO? I get the sense that it's kind of in that, it's like-minded people getting, but I'm still not quite sure exactly what it is. Now, if I read more, I get it, but that my glance, that
Right.
5 to 7 words, 1 to 3 seconds, what is this and what do I get from it? Um, it's not happening for me. So I think that's number one. And then number two, it's hard to skim, right? 3 sentences, it feels like a wall of text. The internet has a big reward for skimmability and a big penalty for lack of skimmability. Um, then, and I would apply that here, just lots of words, lots of words, lots of words. These are okay, actually. They add some whimsy and some playfulness, and I think that's part of your brand. I know that's part of your brand. But I'm still not quite sure what to do with the three of them. I think the social proof here is good. Like these feel like real people, not clip art. And you've got, someone from Zoom Info, which is, I think in our world, super high recognition. But I got to read again, right? So, I mean, if you just use their logos instead of the words, everyone's brain processes images much faster than words. So things that can give that instant recognition. If I saw the Zoom Info, instant credibility booster. Everyone's heard of it. And the fact that you have the CMO says, oh, okay, there's some credibility here. Thoughts before we workshop some how we might make this
No,
better?
I just want to remind everyone that the bravery that I'm expressing, that demonstrating by allowing our website, which has served us so far. Obviously, it has actually served us well. We're excited about the opportunity to vastly improve it. So let's talk about what new and improved looks like.
Yeah. So big headline, show the product, social proof. So let's take a look at some ideas for your homepage. Okay.
Look at that. There's B2B marketing community. We know what it is.
We
There's
know
the
what it is.
promise.
Well, it's the category and we're putting in the eyebrow.
Right.
So categories are great for eyebrows. And then here is the bold claim. There's a benefit here. Draw from the power of 300 plus marketing leaders, and we're making it quantitative. Because I don't know, how many people do you have? Do you have 20? Do you have 40? You have 300
Right.
plus. It's great. Number two, skimmability. 3 bullets. 3 is the magic number. We're bolding your 3 C's, and we're keeping everything to 2 words.
2 sentences, right? Got it. Two
Yeah.
lines.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sorry, 2 lines. 2 lines.
Okay.
Okay, now showing the product. So when I think of your product, I think of one of the primary things of CMO huddles is the huddle. So we went out, found one of your huddles and got a screenshot.
Love it.
And then social proof, we did 2 things here. We got your logos up high above the fold. and picked high brand recognition logos, left to right. And then we paired that with, and by the way, data shows you can get more lift when you combine multiple types of social proof with direct testimonials.
Anybody think that this isn't like 779% better than what we had? The only question is how quickly can we implement it, and can we actually recreate this on our Wild Apricot platform, which is what hosts the community of CMO Huddles. So no argument from this side. I wonder, and what I appreciate is the math that you're describing here, and the right redundancy, the logos followed by the testimonials as a redundant thing. I know that Melissa, our program manager, will be watching this going, okay, I know what I'm doing this weekend.
Yeah, and great comments in the chat here. Brent asked a great question. Can the numeric outcome be in the 5 to 7 words with the what it is in the text below? Yeah, Brent, I think the answer is yes. And I think that's what we're doing here. Quantitative up top, and then we're putting, so what I recommend is putting your category in the eyebrow, 2 to 3 words of what you are. Fintech software, conversion rate optimization services, marketing community, the kind of thing, not even elevator pitch level, like just a quick reference. And then your bullets here should not introduce new claims. They should be entirely to support and bolster the big claim. This is one of the mistakes I often see is websites that they have a great big claim, and then instead of supporting the claim, they make new claims. Well, I'm probably not sold on your first claim, so don't try and give me more claims.
Was there another question? Let's see. I think I thought I saw one other question. Clarify the difference between purpose, objective, between the homepage and a landing page. Right.
And then multiple types of social proof. I'll do multiple types of social proof because that's a simple one, and then we'll talk about between landing page, homepage.
Okay.
Because there's lots of nuance there. Okay, multiple types of social proof. So I'll come back to your brain processes images faster than words. So you want to put the images as high up on the page above the fold as possible. So if you have logos, great. Don't have logos, you can do things like trust badges, media mentions, things that your brain can kind of see and be like, okay, it's credible in some way. I'm in the right place. Then lower below the fold are kind of what web developers call the first div here. You now you have more room to use a secondary form of social proof. Now in the B2B world, we often segment enterprise, mid-market, SMB. Our data shows enterprise tends to convert better with logos. The mid-market and SMB tend to convert better with testimonials. The reason is in the enterprise world, what they're really looking for is you're big, you can handle complexity, you have the sophistication, and that comes from those logos are easy to recognize. The mid-market and especially the SMB don't care about that because they don't. There's a gajillion of them. Again, no one knows who Drew's taco stand is. All right, but if they know that, hey, Drew looks like a real person, said 3 or 4 lines that, or Sahil's laundromat said 3 or 4 things that, hey, this worked for me, and I'm a taco stand owner. Like, okay, I don't know who Drew is, but I know he's kind of like me, and this worked for him. Okay, that's persuasive.
And by the way, Drew's Taco Stand has amazing guacamole, so rush on down. Amazing.
Homemade every day.
Every single day. Only California avocados.
Okay. Purpose objective between a homepage and a landing page. Yes, they're 2 very different things. First of all, the homepage is for most websites, it's the most trafficked, most visited page on your site. Landing pages tend to be purpose built. They might be purpose built around educating your customer base. They're reading case studies. They're learning about you. It's early in their journey. They're low on the intent scale. It can also be purpose-built to convert them. If someone clicks on a search engine ad and you're explaining exactly what you do and why they should buy, you can what marketing people call squeeze them. It's time to ask them to either sign up for that free trial or talk to sales, get a demo. So those are two, at the risk of oversimplifying, differences between the homepage and the landing page. That being said, they are both prime opportunities to convert your highest intent audience into prospective customers.
Can I, can
Yeah,
I ask a question about, I'm looking at two sort of little graphic images that just kind of don't show a lot. The one right above the CMO Studios screen grab, that one, and the one just below it. You know, those subliminal little reinforcement. This is about, you know, what's going on with those?
yeah. I'm not sure what's going on with those, Drew. We actually got them from somewhere on your website, and I thought they looked cool.
Okay, they were already on our website, and you just
Yeah,
grabbed them.
that's
Okay,
right.
that's hilarious. Okay,
Yeah.
they're just
Um,
cool,
Now, with my clients, we often call those snippets, and
right?
they're a way to kind of convey some additional imagery. So, for example, if I have a client who is primarily a desktop application, we'll show their best screenshot here. But if mobile, say they're mobile, they have a mobile app, we'll then show a few screen grabs here and here just to let the user know, hey, this also works on mobile.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So, boom, there we are. It feels like it's vastly improved. Now what? What else we got?
Here's one just food for thought with a different image. So if you're A/B testing it, I would definitely test different images. So the last one was a classic. Basically, it's a screen grab from a Zoom CMO huddle. This reinforces the idea of this multi-connected network with nodes. Again, we got this from one of your pieces of collateral,
Sure.
Drew. Um, um, you might sharpen it up by showing real people here and here and here instead of the cartoons, make it feel a little bit more authentic. But I liked it because it really reinforces the power of the network and that you're benefiting from 300 professionals who are at the top of the game and you can learn from all of them.
By the way, could you shift that screen just over just a little bit so we can see the whole thing,
Yeah.
if possible? I don't know if you can or not. Oh, there we
Yeah. How
go.
about
Okay.
this? A little bit better.
Yes. Yeah. So that animation is actually an animation. That's an an explainer video that we did 3 years ago, that we sort of kept in the loop, but doesn't have any of the penguin branding or any of that. Uh,
Yeah. Hey,
so
Jason asked a great question. If you're
yeah,
service-based and don't have a lot to show visually, what do you recommend showing? So, great example. First of all, you can show your people. Your people are the product. In some ways, that's what we did with with Drew here. Is that in a lot of ways, Drew's product is people getting together and learning from each other. Um, and no, I think this lends itself to something that's very visual and recognizable. It is harder with service businesses. Um, I haven't tested it with what I would call true professional service, like a consulting company. We have tested it with direct to end user type of businesses, like franchise businesses, home cleaning, HVAC repair, plumbers, and showing the uniformed people who are going to come to your house and deliver it and show them that they're professional, they're happy. That's who you get. That's the product you're buying. We've tested that against showing pictures of the happy consumer, which is what a lot of our customers show. Oh, well, people will connect that it's a happy customer, so I'll be a happy customer. Test data actually shows showing the service professionals who can come to your home outperforms happy consumers.
cool. This to me lacks a little bit of the excitement of the other one. It's just a little less
Yeah, it's a little
visually
bland.
interesting. Yeah,
It's a little
and I
bland.
miss seeing the CMOs right there from a CMO Huddle Studio episode.
Agreed.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I,
I would be
I like this one the
surprised.
best. I think this is the one that would. perform the
But
best.
one of the things that I did learn in my 12 miserable weeks in direct marketing is that it is totally unpredictable. Often when you do these A/B tests, which one will win? You have your favorites, and then you go, "Oh my God, this one worked better," right?
Happens all the
And
time. Testing is a
all
cruel
the
game.
time, yeah. And so you can't, even though you like it and aesthetically, I can't assume that that one that I do that feels right is better, except for the fact that it feels like a better representation of our brand. So that I think is a subjective decision that is easily made. Okay. So
Okay,
I know
let's look at some
you're
landing pages.
right.
Yeah, we got a couple
Okay.
landing pages here.
Right. Let's look at them.
Okay, so now we'll do a little truncated critique, Drew.
See if you can move that over. There we go. All right. So truncated, fine.
Yeah, what do you think? Doing well, not doing well here?
Uh, headline, don't go it alone. That speaks to a problem. And there's a quick video with some information. So hopefully that's relevant to for wherever that person came from.
Yeah. So here's what I would say. One is this, it's just too vague. I still don't know what you do or what
Okay.
I get from it. I think the converse is, okay, don't go it alone, go it together. But I have to make a cognitive leap to get there. Number one. Number two, video is a huge distractor and cannibalizes conversions. Doesn't mean video is bad or that you should remove all the video, but my clients get the best results when they move video downfold because your highest intent people are going to get distracted by this. They have a finite reservoir of attention and
Right.
they're going to spend, I don't know how long this video is, but let's say it's even a minute.
Right.
You're now probably eaten up a third to half of the time they plan to spend on your page.
Uh-oh.
Logos, really nice. Here's an interesting thing. Your audience equates importance with the size of real estate you give something.
Right.
So when you make your logos small, it makes them seem unimportant.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So we've got a couple ideas here to look at. So we're doing three things here. First, bold headline, number one, easy to skim value props. And then we're starting with the qualifying question. By the way, Drew, this is the same question you asked on your current page. We just made
Mm-hmm.
it really clear what you're asking for and made it multi-select. These qualifying questions are perform really well. And you've
Okay.
done it in a very a finesse way. You're not trying to qualify the person in a sneaky way.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to get them to think about what is it they're here to do.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And then we've got your logos, number four. We just made them
Bigger and
look more
consistent.
important.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
What do you think? What's catching your eye?
Immediately, I want to update the challenge that you need assistance with. I got right into that. I'm bought in on the matching because that's certainly a tremendous thing. I don't know if I would call them coaches, but that's cool. We can fix that. Uh, More like probably advisors, I guess. Build lasting
Sure. Yeah,
connections,
we
find the first.
definitely wordsmith it to better
Right,
fit
right, right.
your.
And so other than that, I like it because it feels like, oh, if I just click on that, I'll actually get the answer, or I'll be able to do it. And so it feels quite it's enticing. Other thoughts? Anybody else? Relative
Yeah.
to what we have there, it's what it does is it forces you to think about the challenges that you're facing.
Yep.
And it says, okay, we've got these folks who have the answers to your questions. What's your question?
That's right. Okay. Here's a different look. Now this is same page.
Right.
Um, we're incorporating some elements you guys have already seen, so I won't re-explain them. And
Right.
we're adding two new ideas here. First, we have a simpler call to action, email plus CTA. And then a different headline with quantitative proof. You've used this elsewhere, this kind of save 10 hours per month. So we borrowed that. And then we did something that's, I would say, runs against kind of conventional wisdom. The data shows it really works. Something called locked hero. And the way the locked hero works is it stops users from vertically scrolling. Everyone instinctively vertically scrolls and it takes them further and further away from the best part of the page, the hero. What happens is you lose your highest intent audience to vertical scrolling. So when the page loads, it's locked here. It feels like this is the only part of the page. And if the user wants to read the below the fold content, they click learn more and it releases the lock. It's the kind of idea that no one would ever do this because it's so counter to
Right.
uh, conventional wisdom, to best practice user experience. But if the data we've seen this run for more than 100 companies. About 1 in 3 times it beats the control. So it's worth testing. Really good test to run. Great way to
Yes.
convert more high intent audience.
Well, it keeps you right there. And now I don't know if we could actually implement this on the Wild Apricot platform, but oh my gosh, if you're listening or watching this, it's brilliant because it's not gonna there's nowhere else to go. Either you click or you're done. You got to go to it. You got to hit a menu item that may get you closer to um, so that's really interesting, and it is counterintuitive because everybody has infinite scroll pages, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then we have one
Um,
other alternative.
and then this is, I just wanted to show you what it looks like when it's unlocked.
I
Right?
see.
They can go down and see the
Got it.
page.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, so we looked at landing page, a few different alternatives on the landing page and the home page.
Okay. Um. Oh, I'm excited. I feel like there's a lot of just really interesting and particularly I'm sort of stuck on that lock thing because it makes so much sense and I have not seen it anywhere. Uh, so so that's really interesting. A lot of things that struck me in this process, besides the core message and how to frame that, how to use the social proof effectively, logos first, testimonial second. The notion of the video below the fold, I think, is another interesting thing because it is a mistake. If it is a mistake, it's the squirrel and hey, look squirrel for the ADD folk. You're just setting them up. They're going to look at the video, but they're not going to finish it. And so you've lost them. So I get that. So videos, again, get them to a point where they know they want to watch a video, right? And that they get to choose the video that they want to watch. I think that's the moral of the story, right?
That's right. That's right. Um, Pat asked a great question. Removing or simplifying the top nav bar. Yeah, that's a great call out. So, Pat, on a home page, I would always leave the nav bar in. On a landing page, you've got a couple choices. We didn't do anything with it here. But on a landing page, I do think it's worth simplifying the nav bar. Particularly if it's a paid landing page, I would not remove the nav bar because you're going to get a mix of traffic there, and you may want them to continue and have the option to ability to go to your main website or to the rest of the site and do it. If it's a low intent page, let's say it's taking them to a asset download or a blog article or a kind of informative content or educational content, pretty low intent. You definitely want to keep the nav bar there because some of that audience is going to read something and say, hey, I want to learn more. And they go, oh, pricing page. Well, let me see what these guys cost. That's a good part of the user journey. Where the data shows it's worth removing and completely eliminating the nav bar is on on organic or pages, it's all or mostly all organic traffic, and you get to a squeeze page, which is the natural endpoint of the journey, and you're there to squeeze them and ask them, it's time to either sign up for that demo or talk to sales or contact us, get a quote, or if you're PLG, product led motion, you sign up for that free trial. And that's a great place to remove the nav bar because you want to remove distractions. You want to remove escape doors for that highest intent audience. You're ready to squeeze them. You don't want them thinking about walking out the door because they might not walk back in. And I'll show you an example of what I mean for those that are less familiar with this idea. I'll bring up a client of ours.
I think you have to unshare and then reshare, right?
You tell me, is it bringing up this? Do you see
Nope.
my web browser?
No, we're still on the other page.
Okay, let's try it. Here we go. Okay. So for this is Record 360. They sell software that helps head off damages in fleets and rental equipment. And on their Get Demo page, if I've navigated around and I actually click here, I'm pretty high intent. It's time to squeeze me for the demo request. And this particular styling works really well for B2B SaaS. We call it form over UI. You take the form, you make it look like it's floating over a picture of the product interface. It's styled like what some people call a lightbox or modal. It's not, it's a flat page. So you get the benefit of the attention grabbing of a modal or pop-up without the messiness on mobile and tracking and all kinds of other things of a pop-up. And all there is to do here is convert. It's kind of convert or bounce. And there's no nav bar. There's nothing here. You can, of course, click back in your browser, but this works because it communicates visually and it appeals to that higher intent audience. They go, ooh, there's something cool here. I've read up on them. I looked around. I checked out pricing. Okay, I want to talk to them.
Very cool. Yeah, there's not much else to do here but fill out that form. There's no distraction. It's like,
No
okay,
distractions.
you click to demo, you're going to get that. We got to wrap up. I could go on for a long time. So top 3 tools for B2B website and landing page optimization.
Yeah, here's 3 things I would make part of my testing stack. 1, heat mapping software of some kind. Crazy Egg is a good one. Hotjar is a good one. There's a lot of them out there. Many of them have free versions. That's number 1. Number 2, split testing software so you can actually run split tests. This automates the process of half your traffic getting one version, half your traffic getting a different version. It automates a lot of it, not all of it, and keeps track of the statistics. Make sure you can actually measure the outcomes and that what kind of statistical significance you can reach. Number 3, some product or service to get qualitative feedback. My favorite is Winter. That's WYNTR. Really great. In a week, you can take your homepage and they will find 15 of your ICP and give you qualitative feedback about what's resonating and not resonating. I promise you, it will generate a bunch of insights, something that surprises you, good and bad, and great ideas for testing.
Awesome. Okay, we've got heat mapping, split testing software, and a product feedback tool like Winter. Cool.
Yeah. Now, I would be remiss, Drew, if I didn't say the most valuable piece is a platform for predictive A/B testing. But if people are interested in doing that, they know who I am. They can come check me out.
Exactly. And we'll talk about that in just a second. So we're going to wrap up. We started at the top with this, but let's wrap up with 2 do's and 1 don't for better page optimization. And basically, we're really talking about you've got traffic coming to your website. You're not getting the most value out of it because you're not giving them the experience that makes it easy for them. So 2 do's and 1 don't for for better page optimization.
2 do's. Number 1, bold claim, quantitative. Number 2, show the product. And a don't is don't do wall of text. Don't try it and give your homepage tons of jobs to do. Make it easy to skim. Give it a single job. That job is hard enough.
Keep it simple. Focus. We can't say that enough. So, all right. So before we go, I want to thank you. Obviously, it's an amazing experience.
Thank you, Drew.
How can listeners find you and engage with your firm?
Yes. So if you want to just kind of hear or see a little bit more, you liked what you saw today, I post every day at 7:30 on LinkedIn. Everything's 1 minute or less. And I do a lot of these things. Do some teardowns, show you some good ideas, do a bit of diagramming. If you want to hear more about predictive CRO, spiralyze.com.
SPIRLYZE. Got it, right?
That's
okay.
Pretty close.
Pretty close, something like that. Yeah. Okay, we'll get it right in the notes. Final, okay, we have one last question. Pros and cons for different use cases. Are there any cons for doing landing page tests?
So one thing that's challenging with landing page tests, if you don't have a ton of website traffic and you have, let's say, 5 landing pages, purpose-built, maybe 2 of them are for paid, 2 are for organic, and 1 is for low intent audience, maybe it's like a white paper or a webinar sign up. One challenge there is that you've now split your traffic across 5 pages, which makes it harder to run A/B tests and get a statistically significant outcome. It's
right.
It's a con. It's not enough of a con for me to rule out landing pages. I think the mistake I often see is the company spends a lot on paid search ads, Facebook ads, and they send that traffic to their homepage, or they send it to a product page or solution page. It's just a total mismatch between what your audience is expecting and what you're delivering to them.
Awesome. All right. Well, Sahil Patel, Spiralyze, thank you so much for joining us.